There is no red, white, or blue in this country. The only color that matters is green because we live in the United Corporations of America.
What's up, everybody? How are? Oh, I have that thing. Oh, let me fix that real quick. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Status Coup. My name is Ron Placone. I'm your host today. Jordan Cheriton. Congrats to Jordan Cheriton. He just brought another human into the world. So I'll be filling in for you on Tuesdays. For a little while, which I'm very excited about. It's good to see everybody again. Good to be here. We have a very, very exciting show. I don't know if exciting is the right word, but there's a lot going on in the world. We're going to talk about it. First of all, a Trump executive order that is very, very authoritarian, just kind of wants to make martial law a little bit easier. It's so ridiculous that even one of his biggest fans is lodging some criticism. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about Amazon cave to the White House. That's interesting. Jeff Bezos, one of the richest people on the freaking planet, cave to the White House. We're going to be talking about what happened there. Do you use the Duolingo app? I do. And if you use the Duolingo app, there's some interesting stuff going on with AI that you might find a little disappointing. And Canada did something we might not ever do again in the United States. They had elections. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Canadian elections. I was hoping to have a Canadian guest with me. I was trying to get Lance from the Surfs to join me. Unfortunately, he had a prior engagement and could not hop on, but I was really hoping to have him. Unfortunately, it's just going to be me, and I'm certainly not super savvy in Canadian politics. But we're going to talk about the election. Have a good time. Smash the like button. Smash it. Smash. Wait, other way. What am I doing? I keep doing it the wrong. You get it. It's the other way. Smash it. Smash the like button. And shout out, let me give some quick shout outs in the chat here. What's up, H Tub? What's up, Holly? Ciao, come stai, Holly. What's up, Judd? What's up, Humorous? What's up? And that's just I can only see a couple of things. What's up, Vamp Guy? How are you? Good to see everybody. What's up, Joseph? What's up, Martha? What's up, Grant? And anybody I'm missing, welcome one, welcome all. Please do leave a super chat. I'll get to all of them at the end of the show. And let's go straight to the Mediaite article. Here's what Trump is up to today, y'all. Trump orders Hagseth, I think Hagseth, that's how you say it, Hagseth and Bondi to determine how military can be used in domestic law enforcement. Because the cops aren't militarized enough. It's not enough that we have towns of 9,000 who have tanks just in case they need them, just in case your town of 9,000 needs a tank to just brigade about. It's not bad enough that they have weapons to the gill, tear gas, guns of all kinds, ammo. Some of them are riding around on Segways just for fun. Do you ever encounter that? Do you ever see a cop just riding around on a Segway? One time I was at I think I was in Redondo Beach, and I was just walking around. This cop's just having a ball on a Segway. Just he doesn't care. He didn't need to be on it. But apparently they need to be more militarized. So here's the article from Mediaite. President Donald Trump directed Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and Attorney General Pam Bondi to determine how the U.S. military could be used for domestic law enforcement on Monday, which was yesterday. The executive order is titled Strengthening and Unleashing America's Law Enforcement to Pursue Criminals and Protect Innocent Civilians. That just sounds Orwellian right out the gate. Does it not? Strengthening and unleashing America's law enforcement to pursue criminals and protect innocent civilians. Sure. Trump issued several directives, including the establishment of a legal defense mechanism for law enforcement officers and a crackdown on state and local officials who willfully and unlawfully direct the obstruction of criminal law, including by directly and unlawfully prohibiting law enforcement officers from carrying out duties. Basically, what's that code for? If you don't want to cooperate with the cops and you know what your constitutional rights are, they're gonna try to take that away. Because if you're unlawfully prohibiting law enforcement, if it's directly and indirectly, or directly and unlawfully, excuse me, the obstruction of criminal law, they're going to interpret that to take away your constitutional rights. Hey, I have the right to not say anything in this situation. Well, you're also prohibiting us from carrying out our duties. The president also ordered them to determine how military and national security assets and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. Secretary number 4, using national security assets for law and order. Within 90 days of the date of this order, the Attorney General and the Secretary of Defense, in consultation with the Secretary of Homeland Security and the heads of agencies as appropriate, shall increase the provision of excess military and national security assets in local jurisdictions to assist state and local law enforcement. So they're basically calling for military on the street. That's what they're calling for. Tanks on the street. This has brown shirt vibes. Within 90 days of the day of this order, the Secretary of Defense, in coordination with the Attorney General, shall determine how military and national security assets, training, non-lethal capabilities, and personnel can most effectively be utilized to prevent crime. This should be chilling. President Trump signed the executive order in the presence of sheriffs and law enforcement officers from around the country. We can scroll up to the top. There's the photo there. That photo just smells of, hey, the bad guys won. This is wild, y'all, because this is setting the stage for tanks in the streets all the time, loss of constitutional rights. This has straight up V for Vendetta written all over it. This has the brown shirts written all over it. And keep in mind, Donald Trump during the Black Lives Matter protests pretty much put DC under martial law. They weren't calling it that, but that's basically what he did. So Donald Trump has always had this big authoritarian bent. It's always been there. When people pretend otherwise, they're in a dream world. Donald Trump has always had that, and now he's just really going all out with it. There's a little bit more to this. So let's go to I actually like Zainab's tweet. You guys know Zainab, friend of the show, Zainab Day, and a regular host here at Status Coup. Let's go ahead and go to her tweet and the piece that she highlighted. So Zainab said, we can scroll up a little bit, read what she said too. The GOP claimed to support states' right, yet this overreach is astonishing. Latest executive order calls for excess military and national security asset to help police local jurisdictions. This is a frog's hair away from martial law. I'm not being hyperbolic, says Zainab. So yeah, here we go. Using national security assets for law and order within 90 days of the day of this order, increase the provisions of excess military and national security assets in local jurisdictions to assist state and local law enforcement. So we have military all over the world. We have troops all over the world. We police the world. 90% of everything just goes to the military. Pretty much all of our money just goes to war spending and quote unquote defense. Now they're bringing it domestic. They're bringing it domestic now because they don't. And again, all of this is in anticipation of what's to come. This is the only network here at Status Coup. We're one of the only networks out there that covers what's going on in our grocery stores. Prices keep getting higher and higher. We talked about the Kroger-Albertsons merger and how that would lock in high prices indefinitely, and how we are on the path to about 80% of the country being food insecure very, very soon. We're still on that path. And the only person who was standing in the way of that merger, who was Lina Khan, is not in the FTC anymore. So things are not looking good. And they are getting ready for a day where people are going to have to make that decision. Do I get groceries today or do I pay my rent? So what am I going to do? I'm desperate. I guess I'm going to have to steal food. Otherwise, my children aren't going to eat. There are Americans every day who are already in that situation, and that number is getting higher and higher. So they're going to have to do something to keep people in line. So they're going to use the military. When you see policy like this, think 2 steps ahead, because that's what they're doing. They're not thinking about tomorrow. They're thinking about the next couple years. They're always a couple steps ahead. That's what they do. So this is freaking wild. And I don't know, like, what is it going to take for many people? I mean, there's still so many people that are just sugarcoating what this administration is doing, sugarcoating all the horrible authoritarian things that they're doing, or trying to downplay it. And it's like, well, how much do you need? What is it going to take? Is it going to take a curfew or something like that to where people finally go, whoa, wait a second, this is wild. There's tanks in the street and we're supposed to be indoors at 8 p.m. I'm not saying that's going to happen next week, but I'm saying we're on the freaking path for that. And nothing would surprise me at this point. So let's go ahead, and there's a little more to this story, y'all. One of Donald Trump's biggest fans actually has a problem with this. One of his biggest allies is not happy with this. Let's go to the Alex Jones piece, Colin. Even Alex Jones is having pause here. Even that guy's going, "Oh, this is, I don't know. I'm still angry about those gay frogs, but this is too much." Even Alex Jones is saying this is a bridge too far. Alex Jones warns that Trump's dangerous citizen deportations idea is really bad. It's really bad, says Alex. Look at that. Alex is standing up to the man there, calling it really bad. It's unconstitutional. MAGA diehard and InfoWars host Alex Jones slammed Donald Trump's idea of deporting U.S. citizens to foreign prisons, calling it unconstitutional and really bad in an episode of his show released on Sunday. Trump flirted with the idea of deporting American citizens in an Oval Office meeting with El Salvador's President Bukele after he was caught on a hot mic telling a foreign leader that the homegrowns are next. So Alex Jones said this was too far. He was discussing the proposal with white nationalists, a.k.a. Nazi. Media might want to sugarcoat that. We're not going to here. He was discussing the proposal with Nazi Nick Fuentes, because Nick Fuentes is a Nazi, on his show broadcast on X, a platform run by, you guessed it, a Nazi. Yes, Elon Musk is a Nazi. Go read about his grandfather. Jones warned that Trump's rhetoric about shipping homegrown criminals off to El Salvador's notorious Supermax prison crosses a line. I think it's way more dangerous. Trump saying we're looking into deporting citizens to El Salvador. That's unconstitutional. That is really bad, Jones said, according to Media Matters. Now, the Nazi actually agreed. I agree with that. Then again, though, I don't think that's a real policy. That hasn't happened. So don't worry about it till it happens, says the guy who is a Nazi. That is the type of advice a Nazi would give. Well, it hasn't happened yet. Don't worry about it. It hasn't happened yet. Don't worry about it. It hasn't happened yet. Don't worry about it. Oh, it happened. And now it's too late. Boy. So that is interesting. Now let's go to the clip that old Alex is referencing here, Colin. That clip was from a little bit ago. Let's go to the clip of Donald Trump saying he wants to deport U.S. citizens to basically death camps in El Salvador, which is pretty much what these prisons are.
They love you. They love what you do. I'm not feel supportive. I want them to do, homegrown criminals next. Yeah. I said, homegrowns are next. The homegrowns. You got to build about 5 more places. Yeah, that's fair. All right? It's not big enough. No, yeah. Come on. So this is a much different offer.
It's not big enough. There's so many. There's tons of prisoners already there who were deported. An American citizen was deported without due process. The Supreme Court said you got to bring this guy back. The Trump administration thumbed their nose at that. The one big thing we're learning, y'all, is that when nobody is there to enforce the law, or if nobody's willing to enforce the law doesn't matter. And this administration is already going after judges. It's already happening. It's happening in real time. We're seeing our institutions crumble. And I get it. Our institutions aren't great. I get that. But when you replace bad institutions with worse ones, you're not better off. You're that much further away from actual change. A book I recommend if you're curious about that is Crane Britton, Anatomy of a Revolution. It breaks down how revolution really works. And a revolution is not guaranteed to go in a positive way. It could go in a not great way. And that's what's happening here. That's what's happening here. The one silver lining is we're realizing that all these pillars can be broken down. They can be changed. And sometimes change is quick. And if you can change in a bad way really quick, well, then guess what? You can change in a good way really quick too. It's possible, not going to happen anytime soon, but it's not an impossibility. And we've been conditioned over 40 some years and even beyond that of neoliberal nonsense that such a thing is not possible. It is. It always has been. Bold progressive change is possible the same way a fascist coup is possible. Sadly, though, we got the fascist coup. Why? Because in 2016, people were ready for a real populist revolution that was denied to them. So they bought into a fake one instead. And that gave us Trump the first time. Then they thought, this might not be so real after all. So we got 4 years of no Trump. Then we got 4 underwhelming Biden years. So people thought, we'll take a chance on this Trump guy again. And he had time to regroup and re-strategize. Now he's back. And he's causing all the stuff people were worried about was going to happen the first time with Trump. It's happening now. It's happening now. So this type of legislation is wild. It should not be sugar-coated at all. It should be taken with the utmost seriousness because it is, as Zadab put it, it is basically a frog's leg away from martial law. And I would say, was frog's leg the expression? I'm not sure. There might be an Appalachian phrase I'm not familiar with, Zadab. I apologize if you're watching. But whatever it is, whatever the smallest body part is on a frog, that's how far we're away. We are a frog's eyelash away from martial law. Let's put it that way. I'd imagine a frog's eyelash is pretty small and honestly probably not existent. I'm trying to remember high school biology right now, and it's a bit foggy. It was a couple years ago, but yeah, it is. It's pretty much martial law. That's really the gist of it here. It's pretty much martial law. Y'all smash the like button. Please do. Go ahead and give me a super chat. I want to talk to you. I want to hear from you. My name is Ron Placone. For those of you just tuning in, welcome to Status Coup. Shout out to Jordan Cheriton. He just became a dad again. And so he's taking a little bit of time off. I'll be filling in on Tuesdays, and I might be filling in a little bit more too. We'll see what happens here. But for sure, for right now, definitely on Tuesdays, I'll be here with you. I'm real excited to be seeing you on a regular basis again. And once Jordan comes back, by the way, a side note, I am trying to figure out a way to come back on a regular basis here at Status Coup. So working on that. Yeah, hope to be back on a more permanent, regular basis soon, even after Jordan's return. So stay tuned on all that. But for now, let's go ahead and move to our next story. So let's shift gears a little bit here. We'll go over to Duolingo. Let's do Duolingo next. For those of you who use the Duolingo app, I use the Duolingo app. I use it. I studio Italiano sul Duolingo. Io e mia moglie. My wife and I study Italian on the Duolingo app, and it is kind of fun. It's a kind of fun app. Does it really help you get fluent in the language? No, not really. The way I like to put it, using Duolingo to learn a foreign language is like using Guitar Hero to learn how to play guitar if a guitar is not available to you. You know what I mean? Like it can help you with some things. It can help you with rhythm. It can help you learn, different ways of strumming or whatever, but it's still not a real guitar in your hand. You know what I mean? It's the same deal there. Although in this case, obtaining a guitar isn't all that easy because you would need to go to a foreign country to really use it regularly. Anyway, that's way too long of a preamble. Let's get straight to the article. Duolingo, what are they up to? Now, they've been dangling this carrot a long time, but this is breaking as of yesterday. Duolingo will replace contract workers with AI. The company is going to be, quote, AI first, says the CEO, because those AIs, you don't have to give them health insurance. They're never asking for vacation time. They're never asking for time off in general. It's a great employee, those AIs. Duolingo will gradually stop using contractors to do work that AI can handle. Well, what does that mean exactly? let's read on. There's a lot of doublespeak in this, by the way, to give you a bit of a foreshadowing. According to an all-hands email sent by co-founder and CEO Louis Von Ahn, announcing that the company will be AI first. The email was posted on Duolingo's LinkedIn account. Well, at least they're being transparent. I'll give them that. According to Von Ahn, say that 5 times fast. And apologies if I'm mispronouncing that, which I might be. Being AI first means the company will need to rethink much of how we work, quote unquote, and that making minor tweaks to system designed for humans won't get us there. Making minor tweaks to systems designed for humans won't get us there. I've read that sentence a couple times now, and I'm not totally positive I know exactly what that means in that context. So they're going to be AI first. They'll need to rethink much of how we work. Making minor tweaks to systems designed for humans won't get us there. Well, aren't all systems designed for humans? Like, what, you're not designing Duolingo for robots. Humans are going to use it and presumably benefit from it. Anyway, I'm not quite sure what that means exactly. As part of the shift, the company will roll out a few constructive constraints, including the changes to how it works with contractors, looking for AI use in hiring and in performance reviews, and that the headcount will only be given if a team cannot automate more of their work. Ooh, Von Ahn says that Duolingo will remain a company that cares deeply about its employees. Sure sounds like it so far, doesn't it? Doesn't this just scream, yeah, they care? And that this isn't about replacing duos with AI. Instead, he says the changes are about removing bottlenecks so that employees can focus on creative work and real problems, not repetitive tasks. Now, that would be wonderful if that's actually what's going to happen, but it certainly doesn't seem like it, does it? I mean, in one sentence, they're saying, oh, yeah, we're going to replace contractors. And another saying, oh, no, we're not going to replace duos. So I guess maybe they think that lowly of their contractors that they don't consider them actual employees, which in the literal sense, they're not employees per se, but they're still people working there. AI isn't just a productivity boost, Von Ahn says. It helps us get closer to our mission. To teach well, we need to create a massive amount of content. And doing that manually doesn't scale. One of the best decisions we made recently was replacing a slow manual content creation process with one-powered AI. Without AI, it would take us decades to scale our content to more learners. We owe it to our learners to get them content ASAP. Von Ahn email follows a similar memo Shopify CEO Toby Lutke sent to employees and recently shared online. So here's the deal. AI as a whole is a very broad thing. And there's certain AI tools out there that can do pretty amazing things and can save people a ton of time. There's tools in audio, for instance. This is a weird example, but this is something that I actually used when I was making my movie. There's audio tools out there that can separate all of the different types of audio that you record. So let's say you're doing a scene at the beach. Again, I'm totally talking about my movie. Let's say you're doing a scene at the beach and there's a fair amount of background noise, which is kind of inevitable. You're going to get some, and you want to maybe turn that down or tweak that. There are AI tools that can separate the beach noises and the audio of people speaking and the birds chirping, whatever. Now, you can do all that manually with audio tools, but it takes a long freaking time. There are AI tools out there that can do that very, very quickly. You still need an audio engineer to know what they're doing while using those tools. However, what used to take them hours now takes them a much shorter amount of time. I'm okay with that. I think that's a good thing. Like, I'm cool with that. My point is that there are tools out there that can be good things, that can help us with our jobs. And the whole point of AI, or what the point of AI should be, is to make our jobs easier and better, not to replace them. But what are the hyper-capitalists and the capitalists in general going to do? They're going to try to replace workers. That's what they're going to do. Now, even all the stuff he's talking about generating content, you still need humans checking this content. You still need humans who are fluent in the language to oversee this content. Otherwise, users are going to get a lousy product that's not actually going to teach them the language. That's what's going to happen. Let's just take English for an example. It was theirs and it was there and there it is, so there. Go ahead and translate that. What does that actually mean? If we literally translated it into another language, what I just said, Do you think an AI robot would get all that right and the context would be there? And it would be a version of what I just said? It wouldn't be. I promise you. That's why you need a human. You need a human. And I can tell you, even just from a little bit of firsthand experience, Duolingo already is not totally perfect. At least I'm pretty certain it isn't. Here's what I'm basing this off of. I did a lesson once in front of my cousin, my Italian cousin, who said, by the way, some of that wasn't right. And I don't know. I mean, I've never done like a lesson in English before for obvious reasons, but I don't know. Maybe experiment with it if you want to. If you use Duolingo, do a lesson in English as a native English speaker and see if everything's 100% right. I'd be willing to bet you it's not going to be. Now, that's okay. That's okay. It doesn't have to be perfect. But the point is, if they're going to try to automate more and more, and they're going to try to use robots more and more, you're going to get a lousier and lousier and lousier product until it gets to the point where it's just totally useless to you. And then you know what they're going to do? They're going to charge more for it. That's what happens. And we see how when you use AI to replace people, it doesn't go well. Just think about when you call customer service now, which they're trying to do with Social Security, and you deal with AI, and it takes forever to get a person on the phone, and you're just screaming representative, 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 because you need to just talk to the person because it requires the context that needs another freaking human being. And it's a shame. It really is a shame. Because again, some of these tools, they are really, really cool. And we could use these tools to make our lives better. So much better. But instead, they're using it to hollow out our workforce. And they're using it to make everything just lousier for people. And it's so freaking sad. It's just so freaking sad. So we got to fight back. We got to fight back against the tech oligarchy, against the brawligarchy, against the techno feudalists. And we have to understand what's going on. When we say we got to rein in AI, we have to know what that means. We have to know what we're dealing with. We have to know what the ask is. I think one of the things we're going through here in Los Angeles is that we really have to know, as we're going through the different contracts for SAG and the writers, we really need to know what AI is capable of, what it can do down the road, what it's currently doing. So we need to know what exactly we're asking for. Because if we don't have the right ask, it's not going to work out right. It can't just be, well, we got to rein in AI. Well, what does that mean? You're right, but what does that mean exactly? What are the details? And it can't just be all bad. It can't just be, oh, well, AI just sucks. So like the toothpaste is out of the tube. So that would probably be nice, but that's not reality. The toothpaste is out of the tube. There's nothing you can do about it. Go read The Shallows by Nicholas Carr. Once the toothpaste is out of the tube when it comes to technology, it's there. So you can either learn to make it a good thing, or you can allow the oligarchs to exploit you, because they're going to try. They're always going to try. So that's what's happening with Duolingo. Today's poll, Colin, if we can do a poll real quick. By the way, shout out to Colin on the 1s and 2s and the 3s and 4s. Helped me out with the tech issue a little bit earlier. That's why we were a few minutes late today. Apologies, by the way. But today's poll, do you think Duolingo will do the right thing? Yes or no? And feel free to embellish on your answer. I know that's a bit vague, but thought I'd give you an easy yes or no one. And then you can feel free to expand, and we'll read some of those responses, which, by the way, vote now, vote often. Please do leave a super chat. Please do like this stream and tell your friends and share. Things are going good here, or moving on up here at Status Coup. Subscribers are going up, members are going up, and that allows Status Coup to do more firsthand journalism. Status Coup is expanding. It's awesome to see, but we need your help. So please, if you are able, go to statuscoup.com/join and allow us to keep doing what we're doing here. And let's go to speaking of firsthand journalism by Status Coup. We were talking a little bit about Donald Trump and all the authoritarianism that's going on, especially with the newest piece of policy we covered in the last story. Status Coup did a little bit of firsthand work out in Michigan. Colin, if we can kind of play that clip to kind of give people a taste of what's going on if you haven't seen it already.
your hands out. Hands up.
Back this way. Got a bunch of stuff. I got some milk crates full of what? Fucking potion making supplies?
Some paint! It's fucking paint! Oh my god! Spray paint! Wow!
How much are we paying y'all for that?
You guys gonna paint some pictures? Spray paint!
Oh no.
Yeah, you gotta put that paint away real quick. That's what you found was paint! You found paint!
It's on the wrong car. Paint on shit.
There's also envelopes. The first one they had was envelopes. There was like papers, like paper and
Flyers.
like a yellow padded, manila envelopes that like mailing stuff.
I don't think they know what art is. I think this one looks like she's about to take a pee on the back.
On the day-to-day basis,
That's just state art and
Make sure you protect that paint. Let's get the license plate of this guy.
This cop's punisher patch. What are you punishing? Little 18-year-olds with little twig arms? You're real tough.
the blue line.
Oh yeah, the thin blue line. Oh, all
That
the
means
coverage.
that everything they've seen here.
Oh. We have kinetically secured the perimeter.
Oh, they got more stuff.
A bunch of unmarked vehicles.
That's the crowbar they brought. They just got to use it on the door.
They're gonna use it on an immigrant later.
Yeah. We remember this one tattoo right here. This one's tattoo on her arm.
Yeah, you do care.
You should quit your job.
Yeah, you fucking do care.
You should quit your
I
job if you
fucking
want to be a
suck.
good person. You're gonna be separating families next?
Oh, they're doing it now. This is what it is. This is just part of the whole thing.
Oh, that's what they like to do, huh?
This is a practice.
Look at them.
This is the drill. Y'all are running a drill. Do much worse shit. If y'all get to go down to El Salvador and kill some people. Dude. Oh, okay. Just like pick down my
Colin, do we know who those people were who submitted this, by the way? I mean, you don't have to say it on air, but like, do we know who they are? Because I want to be friends with them.
Ashley does, I believe. They submitted anonymously, but I believe it was Ashley who obtained the footage and everything.
I would love to. Well, if the anonymous folks who gave us that footage, your commentary was very, very much appreciated.
I did like the commentary.
And, I would like to let you guys know you got free tickets to anything I'm doing for life. For I don't know next time I'm playing Michigan, but yeah, you got free tickets to anything Ron Placone related for life. I hope you find that cool. But anyway, yeah, I appreciated the commentary. So what happened there, for anyone not in the know, for anyone who didn't see it already, was there were pro-Palestinian students who were protesting, as is their right, and the cops kicked in their door without a warrant, and then they confiscated dangerous things like spray paint. I went to Indiana University. Very similar to Michigan, Big Ten school, Ann Arbor area, and Bloomington, very similar college towns. And I protested Iraq all the time. I was at almost every Iraq war protest there was. And a couple things that happen now that didn't happen back then. One, there were never people with guns pointed up above. That happened on IU's campus. There was someone standing right above a building where I used to stand and protest. There were people standing with guns pointed at people who were protesting for Palestine. And now it's a step further where they are kicking down the doors without any due process whatsoever. No due process whatsoever. No warrant. They can't do that. They can't do that, but they have done it in the past, and they have done it in the past without consequence. And it's always, every time there's a big event that happens, they kind of test you a little bit. They kind of test you a little bit. When the Boston Marathon bombing happened, which was a very, very terrible thing, but when that happened, cops were kind of just kicking in doors without any due process whatsoever, just kicking in doors of people. And people were just kind of going, well, okay. That was a test. That was a test. And right now, this is another test. And they're just they're bullying college students, because what are college students going to do? How can they fight back? What do they have? Well, all they have are outlets like this. All because the corporate media is not going to do anything for them. Have you seen anything about this in the corporate media? I have not. So this is happening now. It's happening in real time. This is authoritarianism. There's a new policy today that we covered earlier in the show that is pretty much martial law. It is a frog's eyelash away from martial law. And that's what's happening. This is happening. And again, speaking of the frog analogy, it's a slow boil, y'all. It's not like we're going to wake up one day and all of a sudden there's tanks in the streets. It gets slow. It's a slow, slow boil. First, they pass this policy to get more military involved domestically. Then they start sending people to jails in El Salvador without any due process, and nothing can be done about it. Then they're going to deport families, some of whom have children with cancer. All happening. And they're counting on people to go, oh, well, what about blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. It's happened in the past. It's happened in the past. I know that. But this is a special brand of fascist coup. And this is the fascist coup we're dealing with right frickin' now. And this is the kind of stories that we cover here on Status Coup. We cover the things the corporate media ignores because they ignore stuff like this. But these are stories that the country needs to know, because this impacts everything else. So yeah, shout out to the Status Coup team for bringing that story to light and helping to amplify that story. And shout out to those, shout out to the video creators there. Again, I hope we cross paths one day. And when we do, first round is on me. Especially if we're in a college town in Michigan, because the beer is cheaper there than where I live. So there you go. All right. Let's go to Amazon. We're gonna go. Speaking of techno feudalism, Amazon. We're gonna go to the Punch Bowl story first, Colin, just to kind of set it up on the tee. So, Trump's tariffs have made some people pretty upset, as they should, because it's really going to mess everything up. The way he's going about these tariffs is completely awful and is going to make everything more expensive. And it's not, it's bad. So even some of the big oligarchs are noticing, because it could hurt them in their pocketbook. Even some of the people on Wall Street are ticked off about this because they don't want that much chaos. A little bit of chaos helps them out, but too much chaos, even they don't like that. So here's the deal, y'all. This dropped a little bit earlier. Now, it's under a paywall, but we only need a couple sentences, so it doesn't matter. So here's the deal. Amazon to display tariff costs for consumers. So this was from earlier today. This isn't even that long off. This was from this morning. And check out that legendary picture, Donald Trump. Perfect. Amazon, that's like so distracting. Do you see? Like, what the hell? Oh man, that's his classic like dance move. The most like obnoxiously sad dance move ever. That totally looks like he is doing something. Yeah, Anyway, Amazon doesn't want to shoulder the blame for the cost of President Donald Trump's trade war, so the e-commerce giant will soon show how much Trump's tariffs are adding to the price of each product, according to a person familiar with the plan. Whoa, interesting. Amazon's kind of sticking it to Trump. Is there trouble in paradise? We all know that Jeff Bezos and Trump apparently had a nice dinner not too long ago. But turns out there was an update. Let's go to the MSNBC piece now. Turns out Amazon's backing off, or I don't know, maybe they were never really serious about it. But after the White House has a fit, Amazon denies it was going to show consumers tariff costs. So Amazon said it is not displaying tariff price hikes on products on its main website, denying an earlier report that it had planned to show consumers just how much Donald Trump's tariffs will raise the price of items. The company issued its statement swiftly after the White House publicly criticized the tech giant. Punchbowl News first reported on Tuesday morning, that's what we just showed you, that Amazon was planning to display the surcharge from Trump's tariffs on goods sold on its website, citing a person familiar with the plan. When asked later about the report at the White House press briefing, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt accused Amazon of carrying out a hostile and political act. Why didn't Amazon do this when the Biden administration hiked inflation to the highest level in 40 years, Leavitt asked. She declined to speak to the president's relationship with Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, who has sought to make nice with Trump since his 2024 election win, but she reiterated her criticism of the company's reported plan. Soon after, Amazon issued a statement that such a plan was only in consideration for Amazon Haul, which is expanding to compete with e-commerce companies like Shein and Temu that largely sell dirt cheap goods from China. The team that runs our ultra-low-cost Amazon Haul store has considered listing import charges on certain products, an Amazon spokesperson told CNBC. This was never a consideration for the main Amazon site, and nothing has been implemented on any Amazon properties. The spokesperson said later in another statement that the plan was never approved and is not going to happen. First of all, it's pretty chilling that Amazon is already responsible for they're already responsible for pretty much 50% of all online commerce, and they're trying to get even more. They're trying to get even more. That's wild. And isn't it weird that Jeff Bezos apparently just kind of backed down? The White House started breathing some fire, and Jeff Bezos was, oh, no. One of the most powerful people in the world, one of the richest people in the world, just kind of back down. Now, people are talking about how Jeff Bezos wants to make nice to Trump, and we know why that is. We know that's because Donald Trump has a ton of authority in the tech space now as a result of the whole TikTok fiasco. Remember the whole thing with TikTok? We covered it here on Status Coup. There was legislation out there to, quote, ban TikTok. It did pass. It also gave a president authority to basically ban any foreign app they don't like. Any type of foreign application they don't like, the president can just kind of do whatever they want now. Joe Biden just kind of waffled on things and let things expire. So that allowed Donald Trump to look like the good guy when he didn't get TikTok banned. Remember, it was like banned for a day, but then Donald Trump said, oh, no, we're going to figure this out. So Trump got to look like the good guy. Meanwhile, he has all this immense power in the tech space now that no president had ever had prior. So that total mishandling by Democrats and Republicans gave Trump a freaking gift. So that's why anybody in the tech space wants to kiss his ass. One of many reasons. That's why Mark Zuckerberg's doing it. That's why Elon Musk, God knows Elon Musk is doing it. And that's why now Jeff Bezos is doing it. And Jeff Bezos is backing down on things. He's backing down on this. And who knows if that was the truth or not. But Amazon just basically said, sorry, White House, we won't misbehave again. We're sorry. We didn't mean to do that. Our bad. So, man, it's wild. It's wild. So please like and share this stream. We got one more story for you. My name is Ron Placone. For those of you just tuning in and you're like, where's Jordan Cheriton? Jordan Cheriton just made a person again. Well, not him. Him and his wife did it. It was a group effort, and they made a person. They got another young being in the world, and everybody is doing well as far as I know. So Jordan's taking a little bit of time off to be a dad again. Well, you're always a dad, I mean, he's still been it throughout, but you know what I mean. paternal leave, if you will. So I'll be filling in for a little while on Tuesdays, and I'll be filling in a little bit more here and there. We'll see what happens, but definitely Tuesdays for now. Tuesdays, I will be seeing you, which I am very excited. It's good to be back. I've been gone a minute. I haven't done one of these in a long time. Apologies if I'm a little rusty. I might be. Haven't done this in a hot minute. So getting on the hosting a new show bicycle again. And I'm pedaling and I'm having a good time. And it is wonderful to see all of you. I really do miss you all very much. And I'm looking forward to subbing in here for a little while. And after that subbing period is over, I am hoping to get something more permanent here on Status Coup. Don't have anything formal to announce yet, but I'm hoping in the relatively near future, I'm going to have something a little more permanent here on Status Coup. That's kind of its own thing, so to speak. So yeah, working on that. But in the meantime, I'm happy to be the cool substitute teacher. And it's good to see all of you. All right, so let's get to our last story of the day. Canada did something we might not get to do again in the United States. Canada had an election. Let's go to the BBC piece first, Colin. Let's start there. And yeah, so how Canada voted in charts. Keep in mind, they have more than 2 political parties in Canada. So Mark Carney's Liberal Party has won enough seats in the House of Commons to form a government in Canada. The Liberal Party is basically their Democrats. However, CNBC News projects they will fall short of the majority they wanted. Things are still just kind of coming in here. The main rival here was Pierre Poilievre. I'm probably mispronouncing that a little bit. Now, Pierre, the conservative leader, was the projected winner. We're going to get more into this. And obviously, I'm only so, I only know so much about Canadian politics. I'm not like super fluent in it at all. I was hoping to kind of have a guest on to go through this part. But unfortunately, Lance from the Surfs was unavailable. And then I reached out to another old colleague, my buddy Dan Spearin, but Dan could not do it either. So I was not able to get a Canadian perspective in such short time. But so we're going through it. Here's the balance of power. Liberals looks like they got the most, the Liberal Party, then the Conservative Party. Now those are the 2 main ones, and then the Bloc Québécois. Now that is basically a social democratic party that is just more focused on Quebec. That Quebec kind of feels a little bit different from the rest of Canada. I cannot speak on this very coherently. I know there's a lot of I know there's a lot of strong feelings there, and there's a lot of history there. I know this because I do have some French Canadian family, but I don't know all the details around the history, so I can't speak to it very cohesively. All I can say is that I know there's some differences between Quebec and the rest of Canada, and there are some interest in separating by various schools of thought, etc. So this party is a little more likened to that. And as far as political philosophy goes, they're a bit more social democratic. NDP is, I believe, the New Democrats, and they are a center left party. And then, of course, the Green Party is also. Isn't it amazing that basically 4 out of these 5 parties are just further left than anything the United States has? Like, they have 5 political parties. And I'm not saying Canada some utopia. Of course it isn't. There's right-wingers in Canada. Abso-freaking-lutely. But, man, sometimes it just puts it in perspective that it's like at least 4 out of their 5 parties are further left than anything we have. Anything we have. Like, it's just wild because we have 2 right-wing parties. We have a neo-fascist party and a neoliberal party. One always leads to the other. Take your pick. Have fun. They actually have, yeah. So that's when you have more than a duopoly, it makes things better because the left-wing parties, the actual left-wing entities, will pull the Overton window. So yeah, the communists, the socialists, they're not going to have a lot of seats, but they'll have a couple, and you're going to need them to get anything done. So you can't be as freaking nuts as you'd like to be if you're some fringe right winger. That's why the Labour Party out in the UK is much better than the Democrats. Are they perfect? No. Do they have the same centrist nonsense that we have here? To an extent, yes, but it's not nearly as bad. It just isn't. And even the Tories. Are the Tories awful? Yes. Are they as bad as the Republicans? No. Not even close. Not even close. So yeah, NDP won some seats, Green Party won some seats. So let's go to the CNN piece that kind of breaks down a little bit of what happened, because the conservative guy was supposed to dominate. He was supposed to win. But you know what happened is that people were so ticked off by Donald Trump. Well, let's read it and then we'll talk about it. Let's kind of use this article as a jumping off point. Canada will never yield to Trump's threat as Prime Minister Carney declares election victory. So Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney said his country would never yield to the United States as he declared victory in federal elections early Tuesday, following a campaign overshadowed by relentless provocations and steep trade tariffs imposed by Donald Trump. The Liberal Party leader issued a stunning rebuke to Trump as he sent a message of unity to a divided nation, promising to represent everyone who calls Canada home. As I have been warning for months, America wants our land, our resources, our water, our country. But these are not idle threats. President Trump is trying to break us so that America can own us, Carney said, as he held a remarkable reversal in fortune for his party. That will never, ever happen. We are over the shock of the American betrayal, but we should never forget the lessons. We have to look out for ourselves. And above all, we have to take care of each other, he said. So you see how the best thing for his campaign is Donald Trump. Donald Trump was the best thing for the not fringe right wing in Canada. That's what happened. Because here's the deal. When you really just completely disrespect somebody's country, even if they agree with you politically, they're not going to take kindly to that. So Donald Trump, when he went, oh, you guys should be the 51st state. Oh, we're going to impose these tariffs. Haha, screw you, Canada. Meanwhile, we get tons of our freaking energy from Canada. We do not have many cards to hold in this scenario, by the way, because a ton of our energy comes from Canada. A ton of our lumber comes from Canada. If we want to mess with Canada, it is not in our interest. Canada can gladly take Miller Lite off the shelves in their grocery stores and replace it with something else. That's not that big of a deal for them. But for us, the U.S., what are we going to do when it comes to lumber, when it comes to power, when it comes to cars? And Trump's realizing this. But when you do what Trump did, and basically, totally disrespect Canada, people aren't going to take kindly to it. Even people that maybe agree with some of his politics, they're going to be like, whoa, wait a second. Because most people, not all people, but a lot of people have some amount of pride in their country because it's what they know. It's what they grew up with. So people in Canada didn't take kindly to that. So now the thing associated with it, which was the Conservative Party, they said no to that. And this guy and the Conservative Party in Canada managed to snatch defeat from the jaws of victory, much like the Democrats do all the time in the United States. That's what's going to be next for old Pierre. Old Pierre is going to become a Democrat in the United States. He's like, I'm so good at snatching defeat from the jaws of victory. I think I'm going to become a United States Democrat. I'm great at country, and I am conservative, but that's not a problem in the Democratic Party of the United States. So there you go. That's what he'll do next. So around the world, people are really, really fed up with what the United States is doing. And around the world, other countries are kind of uniting against what we're doing. That's happening. That's happening in Europe. Heck, even out in Italy, their prime minister's a fascist. And even she, Giorgia Meloni, even she is going, oh boy, when it comes to Donald Trump and what this administration's doing. So yeah, you're seeing a little bit of unity, not a ton. I mean, the world's divided, but you're seeing a little bit of unity of people coming together saying, we're not going to stand for this. And this is unacceptable. So what needs to happen here, y'all, is that we as a people need to stand together opposing what this government is doing. And I don't know exactly what that's going to look like. I really don't. I don't have all the answers. I wish I did. But I do know that it starts right in your own backyard, quite literally, right in your own backyard. And you got to think about what you need to do to get what you need. And I'm not embellishing there, and I'm not trying to be overly simplistic. I'm trying to be quite literal and pragmatic, really pragmatic in a good way. People use pragmatism as an excuse for, oh, we can't have anything. But really, pragmatism, when applied the right way, isn't a bad thing. There's just nothing pragmatic about an incremental solution to a catastrophic problem. So what we got to do is we got to think, okay, how am I going to get what I need here? How am I going to get what I need? And I'm telling you, I know some of you guys tease me when I bring it up, but I stand by this. If you can grow food, do it. If you can have a garden that has a reasonable bounty, do it. If you can raise chickens, do it. Get the eggs. If you have friends who can do it, have them do it. If there's other ways you can be relatively sufficient in where you live, get to know your neighbors. I'm not saying that's like the total solution, but I'm saying that's a big part of it. That's a big freaking part of it, because you want to know the people who live to you. If someone freaking knocks on your door, if a nice person knocks on your door or knocks on your neighbor's door, you want to have neighbors who are looking out for you. You really do. So that may sound simple, but first of all, it actually isn't. And second of all, it's actually really, really, really freaking important. And it's something you can do. We can't end the war machine tomorrow. I wish we could, but we can't. That's not going to happen tomorrow. That's something we need to work towards. That's something we need to always keep fighting for. Always. But you also have to focus on, well, what can we do right now? What can we do right now? And what we can do right now is try to be on top of what's going on with our school boards. Try to be on top of what's going on with our neighborhood. Try to be on top of what's going on with resources around you to make sure you and those near you are taken care of. And honestly, y'all, that's what it's going to take. That is what it's going to take. So let's go ahead and go to the chat. And see what you guys are saying and see the results of the poll. Sorry, the poll was a little bit vague. Some of you were just like, that's a little vague. And I guess like by right thing, I'd be like, are they going to use AI to help their employees and have it be a useful tool to allow them to be more productive, maybe even have more vacation, heaven forbid, or are they going to use it to fire people? That's basically what I was getting at with that. Sorry, it was a little vague. Again, first show back in a while, y'all. A little bit of rust to work off. But I appreciate y'all hanging out with me today and bearing with me. So, Colin, let's go to the poll first. And please do leave a super chat. I will get to everybody. And Colin's going to be feeding it for me because I can't really see the chat with the way this software works. But, Colin, what's up with the poll?
Oh,
I like
yes.
your haircut, by the way, Colin. It's very good looking.
Yeah, this is when I finally feel like using my razor, is what this haircut is called. The poll, so
your overall look right now is solid. I think the facial hair is a good choice. All right, thank you. Facial hair is a good choice. The hair is a good choice. You're really nailing it. Give it up for Colin on the 1s and 2s and 3s and 4s, everybody.
I wish I had the stock sounds of like people clapping and
people
stuff.
Clapping. You can do like little whistling noises at yourself.
Yeah, like those live studio audience effects.
Didn't Gordon have a soundboard at one point? Didn't he have that?
Yes, we're working on something, or I am at least.
Man,
we'll see.
All kinds of fun stuff. There's all kinds of fun stuff under the hood. All right, so what's the results of the poll?
So do you think Duolingo will do the right thing? We got 366 votes. No was 78%, and yes was 21%.
Oh, man, I am part of the 78%, but I really hope the 21% is right. Because honestly, Duolingo is kind of fun. Now, sometimes I ask, is it actually helping me learn Italian? And I'm not sure. Sometimes I get, do you use Duolingo, Colin?
No, I've seen it used, but I think that was after my time of trying to learn it languages.
It is fun, and I do think that it helps a little bit, but it does not help as much as just using the language and talking to people.
Yeah.
There's actually an Italian speaking meetup group near me that I went to on Sunday, and that was very cool.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
actually really cool.
it's very cool. Yeah, so I feel like that was probably like 3 months worth of Duolingo in like one afternoon. But what are you gonna do? Well, what's your vote? What are your thoughts? Do you think they're gonna do the right
N-
thing?
No, because I feel like a Duolingo has not had the best reputation behind the scenes pretty
They haven't.
consistently. So if there was like, oh, they've been a pretty good company, and then this is coming out of nowhere, so maybe we'll give them a chance. But like this also seems, I saw this announcement, and I was like, yeah, that sounds right for Duolingo.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll keep an eye on it. If they start, if they start being terrible, I will definitely use a different way to. Maybe it'll finally get me to just buckle in, be disciplined, and set up a meeting time with some of my family or friends, whoever's willing to meet with me. I mean, with the technology, with Zoom and WhatsApp and everything, we have all these tools at our disposal, and we use them. But we could use them more and be like, hey, just once a week or however often, let's just like speak Italian for a meeting.
Yeah, you'd be surprised that just doing the conversational stuff, how quickly just doing that once a week will come. It'll just start. Your brain will make connections you're not realizing until a little bit later, and then you're like, wait, oh.
Because you remember
this is
stuff
easy.
more. Like you remember stuff better when it actually happened to you. Like you'll remember words better and stuff like that.
You're not memorizing for a test. Your brain is actually associating it with a real world event.
Exactly.
That happened. Yeah.
Do you speak a foreign language?
I started in high school it was sign language, but then I did Japanese for a bit, and that one I did video with a real person, and that was extremely helpful. Whenever they gave me work to do in between was not helpful, but the in-person talking was where I'd made my most advancement. So just conversing is like half the work, I feel.
Well, that's one of the hardest. I've heard that's one of the hardest to learn. Those are interesting picks, by the way, Colin. Like a lot of people, it's like oh, Spanish, French, German, or maybe if you have Italian family, so Italian. But you're like, no, I'm going sign language and Japanese. I like it.
See, the sign language was me in my senior year realizing I needed 2 years of a foreign language that I never took, and finding out that sign language was a college course, so each semester counted as 1 year, and that saved my life.
Oh, I see what you did there. I had a friend who took. This is so random. Well, we'll get to the chat. But yeah, I had a dumb little story. I had a friend who took sign language in college, and there was this girl in my psychology class who was not able to hear. She was deaf, and she had like an interpreter and stuff like that. And I kind of had a crush on her. So I wanted to learn how to sign, like, would you like to grab coffee sometime? Like just sign a basic thing.
Yeah.
And, so my friend taught me how to do that. And then I was going to have to break it to her like, hey, that's all I know. I just wanted to talk to you and whatever. But when I finally got up the courage to do it, she finished her final before me and was out the door. Before I had my opportunity to,
you'd be surprised.
Isn't that sad? It took me the entire semester. How bad is that?
That's like a classic story. I feel like of like the reason you don't wait and all that stuff of like, oh, that lesson your parents tell you. But it's funny you mentioned that because that was like what I feel like one of the top reasons our teacher talked about in sign language that people learned was because they wanted to like ask someone out or something, so they learned sign language. This happen more often than you would think.
I believe it. I totally believe it. All right, let's get to the super chats. Some people are just like, shut up, Ron. We don't want to hear about some college girl you didn't talk to. I'm sure there were hundreds of those. Get to the super chats. Dave, what's up, buddy? How are you? Good to see you, by the way, Dave. It's been a minute. I've already done some panic buying, sneakers, jeans. Yeah, I don't blame you. Sneakers, jeans, olive oil, a few other things. Fun times. Olive oil is a big one too, by the way. I actually know, I'm not going to go into detail, but I know somebody who has a lot of olive trees. And the reason they're doing that is because they're like, yeah, I'm going to use some of this for the oil. Then I'm going to use some of this for to kind of power vehicles and stuff like that, like get a converter and start powering vehicles with olive oil, which you can do. Don't ask me how, but more savvy people can. I'm not a savvy person, I'm not a handy person, I just know some people who are. But Dave, I hear you there. It's a tough situation to be in, and yeah, I don't blame people for, or I certainly advise people should really do what they feel they need to do to be prepared. And that's not an embellishment, and that's not necessarily being panic. It's just recognizing the moment that we're in. I mean, there are times where I'll talk to people about what's going on, and people say, "Oh, that's depressing." Like, well, yeah, it is, but like, we need to like it's happening. Like, what are you gonna like? You can't just it's depressing. Let's just ignore it. It's happening. It's what we're living through. So you have to deal with it. So I hear you, Dave. And make a nice pasta dish for me, by the way, Dave. When I think olive oil, that's where my mind goes first. So yeah, make a nice pasta dish for me. All right. What else do we got, Colin? Nikki, how are you? Great to see you, Ron. Great to see you, Nikki. I hope all is well. It's been a long time. And congratulations, Jordan. Indeed. Yeah, really happy for Jordan and the family. I don't know what all he has shared publicly yet, so I don't want to like say anything that he might not have shared yet. But I think it's okay to mention that everyone seems to be doing well. Jordan is enjoying, doing his person tending. Make it you can tell you can tell I'm not a parent. Like person tending, that's it. I'm an uncle, sweetest gig ever, by the way. Any aunts and uncles out there, we got the coolest freaking gig. I was just visiting family a couple weeks ago. I got to meet a new nephew that I have. I have a new nephew. He was just born a couple months ago. So I got to meet him for the first time. And I got to see my niece, who is now 2. She says my name a bunch, which is amazing. And I just get to be the cool I got to be the cool uncle that I got to push them around. We had this little picnic blanket thing, and I could push it around and give them a ride. You know what I mean? Like they lay on the blanket and I pull it and they cheer. It was the best. It was so great. But then when it was time to tell them they couldn't have a cookie or something like that, nope, not me. I didn't have to do that. None of that. Changing diapers? Nah, nope. Don't want to overstay my welcome. Brianna, how are you? Brianna O'Hare, how are you? Thank you so much for the super chat. You help keep this show on the air. Congratulations, Jordan. Amen to that. Great show. Thank you very much for that, Brianna. Thanks so much for tuning in today and for supporting all the stuff we do here at Status Coup. Nadia, how are you? I haven't seen you in a while. So good to see you again. Hope you are well. And thank you for being a member for 14 months at the Fight the Power level. So message number 1, Constitution worship is a cult. I agree with that. Yeah, absolutely. It totally is. I mean, the Constitution. Now, by the way, 2 things can be true at the same time. Constitution worship is definitely a cult. Trampling constitutional rights is also a bad thing. When those rights consist of, hey, you can't kick down my door without a warrant, or hey, I'm allowed to say this and you can't arrest me. So those are all good things, but I get what you're saying. Number 2, 5 black robe Klansmen and literal handmade from a cult that inspired Atwood ignore the Constitution anyway. Oh yeah, absolutely. No, that's the thing. I mean, the biggest theme here is when no one's going to enforce the law, it doesn't really matter. You also go on. I'm hitting the halfway mark on my my Schengen area tourist visa. That's the EU visa time limit. So my plot is to hop from Berlin to London while grinding on work visa paperwork. Right on. That's awesome. Well, where are you hoping to kind of stick it out in the EU? Or are you hoping to go UK? Because I know like when you have to leave the EU area, you would go to you can go to the UK, then you can go back. But where are you hoping to land permanently? Are you hoping for EU or UK? I kind of go back and forth on that myself because I really, at first I kind of thought Italy was going to be my main go-to, but they recently changed some of their laws in a way that does not help people like me. So now I really love the idea of Scotland. Well, shout out to Travers if you're here. Travers, do you need a roommate? But I really love the idea of Scotland. Scotland's part of the UK. I think a lot of Scotland doesn't want to be, but Scotland is part of the UK, not the EU. So like, well, I like the EU a little more than the UK, but I also really like Scotland for a number of reasons. Some of them work related, some of them leisure related. Anyway, Nadia, I hope your travels are going awesome, and I hope your travels are going safe. And I'm really, I'm really intrigued by them. I understand if you don't want to share any details on a public forum online, but whatever you're trying to do, I hope that you nail it. And safe travels. Be careful. Travel safely. And have a good time. All right, what else do we got, Colin? Jacob, what's up? Thank you so much for the super chat contribution. I'm not sure what this first word is. Polfishish. Oh, I guess that's the name. All right, sorry, I'm not sure how to say that. Polfidish. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm missing something there. Colin, you can let me know if I'm missing something obvious, but I'm not quite sure how to say that. But Polfidish here, if you don't have solidarity with neighbors when cops come, you're fed, period, vice versa. Everyone has rights until gun cops tells you turn in names. I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. I mean, honestly, solidarity with your neighbors, with your community, with the people around you, it is important. It's really freaking important. So amen to that. Still not sure what that first word is, but thank you very, very much. Nikki, what's up? I'm the cool Aunt Nick. Great gig indeed. Isn't it? Oh, it's the best. That's so cool. Thank you for being a cool Aunt Nick. I love it. I'm also very excited because I feel like as my niece and nephew get older, I feel like I'm going to be the uncle that gets all the cool questions. You know what I mean? Because like I'm definitely the like weirdo uncle. Like that was a poor choice of words. Let's back up. That could have a weird connotation. I'm like the uncle who's kind of like a bit more out of the box and a bit more maybe kind of free spirited, kind of the type of uncle where you're like, I bet Uncle Ron used to smoke pot, or probably still does, or I bet Uncle Ron, whatever. I feel like I'm just gonna be that uncle, which means I'm gonna be the one where they're gonna be like, Uncle Ron, what really happened to JFK? You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna get all those fun questions. Like, Uncle Ron, what was it like going through the fascist coup in 2024, 2025? What was it like? So anyway, yeah. Thanks for being the cool aunt. Trying to be the cool uncle. It's a good time. And I can't see much of the chat here, but I could see a little bit, so I don't mean to, but somebody asked and it jumped on me. Somebody asked about RFK and the autism registries. We did not cover that today. There was not something in the news today to cover. It just wasn't on the docket that I curated today. But I was following that myself just in real time. And I will say, I find everything he said to be utterly repulsive. I think what he said about autistic people and just disabled people in general was eugenics. That guy's a eugenicist. And I will say that, we will definitely be covering it as things unfold on this show. And I'll be covering it some on Tuesdays. Nikki, what's up? Anyone here in Fayetteville, Arkansas? I need a compatible roommate. I've never been to Fayetteville, but I hear it's actually cool. I hear that Fayetteville is the really cool part of I shouldn't say cool part of Arkansas. It sounds like I'm putting the rest of the state down, and I don't want to put any word down, but I hear like Fayetteville is kind of like, that's like the Austin of Arkansas, if you will. It's kind of like the kind of neat lefty bohemian spot in Arkansas. And a lot of my comedian friends love playing there. And they're like, Ron, there's these shows you got to do in Fayetteville. I've not gotten to do them, but I'd like to. Kelly, what's up? Oh, thoughts on JB Pritzker calling for general strikes? I've not seen this. I've not seen this. I'll have to look into it. I think any call for a general strike is good. Even if it's not a sincere one, which I don't know any of the context here. I'll have to look into it. So I don't know whether it's sincere or not, but regardless, I think anytime somebody is saying general strike on a big platform or just in general, I am for it. I am, yeah, I am. I think general strike is pretty much the only way we're going to turn things around. So I support it 110%. So I don't know the context here, but just based on the sentiment itself, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. What else do we got?
That's
The
all
gamut?
of them.
That's the gamut. All right. Well, thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys. And I will make a few announcements before we get out of here. First of all, if there are any listeners / viewers in Seattle, I will be in Seattle on May 23rd. Come out to the show. Go to romplacone.com for tickets. May 23rd, Seattle, Washington. You can get tickets at romplacone.com. One thing I'm doing this year, if you would like to attend the show, but you are low on funds, email me. We'll figure it out. Also, for everyone in Los Angeles, my play is launching. I'm doing a play, and that is launching in June. We're going to be part of the Hollywood Fringe Festival. We got all of our dates set, so it's all throughout June in Hollywood. Those tickets are pay what you can, so you can just, whatever you are able to give, even if it's nothing, come on out to the show. So tickets information are available at romplacone.com. They don't officially go on sale until May 1st, but I will be doing the Hollywood Fringe for all Los Angeles viewers. Come check out our play at the Fringe. It's called Termination Fee, and it is a scathing commentary on the American healthcare system, which, speaking of plays and scripted content, guys, my movie is out. My movie is out. Have you watched my movie yet? Have you not? You should. You could watch it right now after this stream. You can rent my movie right here on YouTube. Check it out. It is called Left at Wall. That is Left at Wall. The word left, the word at, the word wall. It is on Apple TV. It is on YouTube Movies. It is on Google Play. It is on Xbox. It is on demand. It is on Hoopla. You can check it out. If you're having trouble finding it in your country, because there are some territory issues with movie releases, if you're having trouble finding it in your country, if you're not in the US or Canada or elsewhere in North America, please do email me. We'll get it figured out. There's usually, ways to get around it. Some people have emailed me, and I've tried to help them the best I can, even if I have to reach out to the distributor and what have you. So yeah, Left at Wall. Check it out if you haven't watched it yet. Again, that's Left at Wall. And if you're not sure where to get it, you can just go to my website, romplacone.com, and all the information is there on where you can find the movie. And I would love it if you watched it. Guys, thank you so much for being part of this. I'm thrilled to be back here with you. And I will see you, if not before, next Tuesday. And shout out again to Jordan Cheriton and his new second descent into beginning fatherhood. And thanks for supporting what we do here. And this is Ron Placone for Status Coup.